51,000 Americans have something to celebrate today. That's the 51,000 people who are part of the 1.46 million active duty service personnel in the U.S. military. 51,000, or roughly 3.5%, who identify themselves as humanist, and until this week were never officially recognized. But in truth, the recognition of humanist as a religious preference in the U.S. military is not simply a victory for those humanists. It is, in fact, a victory for people of all faiths and for people who believe in freedom and the free expression of one's faith. I know there are people who will say, what do you mean? How can you call a humanist a religious preference? There's no God there. They define themselves as people who don't necessarily believe in God, and isn't that an insult to religion? Absolutely not. In fact, even the use of the term God is misleading, because do all of the roughly 89% of Americans who believe in God or a higher power really share a common theology? Of course not. We share a word. So if we really want to be radical, we could invite humanists to be part of the definition of God, only I think that would make a lot of theists uncomfortable. So we won't do that. We'll simply admit what we already know. There isn't a common faith, and using the word God actually blinds us to the fact that when it comes to matters of the Spirit, there is many ways of trying to elevate our souls, enrich our lives, and contribute to the world as there are people who may want to. And what the U.S. Army has now done is recognize the systematic approach called humanism and the 51,000 people who follow it. They are so excited, as they say, because until now there was simply no belief or theistic belief, but no recognition of real belief that happens not to be theistic. And atheism? Well, that tells you what people deny, but it doesn't tell you what they affirm. So once again, from a classically religious perspective, one that embraces people stating in a systematic, affirming way what it is that animates their lives and propels them through the world in a meaningful, ethical fashion, this is a victory. So, to those who are going to get anxious about this and see it as an insult to religion, let's be clear, it is just the opposite. This is one more example of how the free exercise of religion is good for all faith, even people who have no faith, much more than trying to get common definitions or predetermined, agreed upon categories. In fact, the freer we are about faith, the better it is for all faiths.